Today's video is very, very important. It is about the 6 credit score misconceptions, and these are going to help you to avoid making these same mistakes. Now, if you don't know me, my name is Kristen, and I fix consumers just like you how to fix their credit themselves for free right here on YouTube. Now, go ahead and check out the description. There is a couple of links for you so that you can access some free, awesome content, tools, software, apps, tutorials, etc., as well as the link to schedule a call with me for the Done For You credit sweep service in case this is something that you just don't want to do yourself. We'll see if it's a good fit. Now, let's get right into the 6 common misconceptions of raising your credit score. Now, while you're down in the description, make sure to hit that like button and make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss any future videos. And remember, if you are subscribed and you still haven't hit that bell for notifications, you're not gonna know. So make sure to hit the bell for those notifications, click on that like, and subscribe. All right, so we have 6 of these here, and yes, they are super important. So whether you are at work, whether you are driving, whatever you are doing, please listen to me. All right, number 1, you should remove all your negative accounts. Now, the reason that this is more than likely not going to raise your credit score is for a couple of reasons. 45% of your score is made up of your history. So if you remove something that has been on your credit report, even if it is negative, let's just say 6 years, right? 6-year-old paid charge off that you go and you remove, and your next account is only 2 years old, now you are going to be basically put onto a different scorecard, right? Your numbers are going to change. Your average length of history is going to change, and now your credit score is going to drop. So you need to compare and analyze every single account that you have on your credit report to determine if removing it really is going to raise your credit score. Now, there's many examples that I can give you on that, but we're going to go kind of quickly through these because this is not a workshop or anything like that. This is kind of a short video. Now, number 2, paying off any charge off will raise your credit score. This is incorrect. Now, you might be wondering, well, hey, I paid the damn account. Why isn't it going to raise my credit score? Well, the reason behind this is because let's just say that, I don't know, you waited 3 years to pay the account, right? So it kind of goes along with number 1, that you are going to change the numbers on your credit, right? So now instead of the date last active being 3 years ago, your date last active is now a current date, and this paid account is now going to look negative. Now, it might not make any sense to you, but if you start to learn and study about the dates and how they affect your credit score, you're really going to understand why I'm saying this. Okay, if it is less than 2 years since the account has been charged off, so 24 months, yes, you can get an increase in your credit score by paying or settling that account. But if it's over 24 months, you have a higher chance that it is going to lower your credit score. So what do you do? What do you do in this instance? Well, remove that account first and then pay it. Remove it and then pay it. Now, if this is something that has been on your credit for a long time, you have otherwise a thin file, then this is something that you're really going to have to look into and determine what is the best for your specific case, right? But we're just talking about averages, right? General consumer credit files. Number 3, paying off any collection will raise your credit score. Now, this goes along with 1 and 2. And now we're on obviously number 3. So these all go together, okay? Paying off any collection will not raise your credit score, okay? Once again, it is going to change the numbers. But one thing that you need to understand about collections is that unlike charge-offs and unlike paying on charge-offs, paying a collection is not going to change that date last active. All right. Paying off a collection is not going to change the date last active. So it can potentially raise your credit score, but most of the time it's not going to. Okay. You have to, once again, look at every single account that you have on your credit report. Look at all your positives, look at all your negatives, look at the average length of time that you've had open accounts and total credit history. And you have to think, okay, well, looking at my entire credit file, it's probably not going to do me any good to remove this charge off, but it's probably going to do me good to pay on it, right? Because it's less than 24 months old. And this collection, I'm really not going to do anything with because it's only $25 and, it's been on there for X amount of time. So that's just one example, but you get what I'm saying. You have to look at your specific scenario. Now, number 4, removing an old bankruptcy will raise your credit score. This is incorrect, and it goes with number 1. Now, I'm going to give you a real life example just so that it's easier for me to explain this to you and that you can understand exactly what I'm talking about. I have a client. Now they are an ex-client because I'm completely and totally done with their file, but they had 3 bankruptcies. Literally, like a bankruptcy that reported to all 3 bureaus, a bankruptcy that reported to all 3 bureaus, and then another bankruptcy that reported to all 3 bureaus, right? So I removed 2 of the 3, and we were dealing with this one bankruptcy, and it was super, super, super old, like 6 years old, all right? And it was going to drop off on that 7th year because it was a chapter 13. Now, the problem with this is that their credit was otherwise only 3 years old. So I had to explain that by removing this one bankruptcy, because the other 2 were much newer, by removing this one bankruptcy, their score could tank, right? And so we ended up leaving it on there so that we were able to flesh out their credit by adding new positive lines that they continued to pay on time with. Their score would go up and all of that. And by the time that 7-year mark hit, now they would have a longer credit history. They went and they added, a trade line, and they had their primaries, they had new credit, they were, doing everything that they were supposed to. So it didn't really matter when that 7-year mark hit and that the older bankruptcy fell off. Their score didn't take that much of a hit. But if we hadn't taken these steps to prepare for this, then their score could have gone down anywhere between 50 to 100 points. That is how important, listen to me, that is how important your history is and those numbers, okay? So any single time that you are disputing something, you must ensure that disputing it and deleting it is going to increase your credit score. We're not just disputing to get removals. Like, I love seeing my numbers. I love seeing, that X percentage was deleted in this month and this year and this time period and for this many clients and all of that. But those are just numbers. Okay. Every single person has their own specific scenario. Every single person has their own goals, and what you're doing with the credit report needs to be congruent with those goals, and not everything needs to come off. We are going towards a higher credit score. So the actual credit report doesn't need to be beautiful. Okay. This is not a beauty contest. Okay. We're doing this so that we can move on with our lives. We can have a better lifestyle. We can have more money. We can have a nicer home for our children. We can have all these different things that right now we're not able to have because of our current credit scores, right? So that's what you need to think about when you are disputing, okay? Don't go for the numbers. If you go for the numbers, you're going to go broke, all right? Number 5, close unused revolving accounts like credit cards. Dude, don't do it. Look, unless the account is negative, unless you're not going to pay it, unless it's going to be charged off, unless it's going to do all that, you need to make sure that you are on time with it. Or if you're not on time, make sure that you catch up, go and remove those late payments if you have any. If it's less than 3, consecutively, meaning 30, 60, 90, and keep them open. I don't care if once a month you have to go and, get gas or go buy milk or whatever. You're going to go do something or pay something or have something transact online or over the phone or in person that you can use this card for. So when you close these cards because you're just not using them, or they are closed on you for inactivity, which is also bad, you're once again changing these numbers, okay? Because you have your open accounts, you have your closed accounts, you have your positive accounts, you have your negative accounts. You have all these different numbers and all these different averages. And when you start playing, credit God with these numbers, you're going to inadvertently do something that is going to drastically change your credit score, and it might not be in your favor. So be very, very careful. Don't close any cards unless they are brand new, and by closing them, your plan is also to remove them from your credit report so that you can increase those other numbers so that your credit score can increase, as well as your likelihood that you'll be able to obtain new and higher credit. All right. Number 6, remove positive closed accounts. This kind of goes with number 5. So as you can see, these all flow together, and it's just one right after the other. And this is the reason why we're doing this flow like this, so that you can understand how this works. Okay, just like number 5 and removing or closing unused revolving accounts like credit cards, you do not want to remove positive closed accounts just because they are closed, okay? Once again, going back to that massive percentage that has to do with your history that makes up your credit score, your FICO. Removing positive closed accounts is going to change those numbers. It's going to put you into a different credit bucket, basically. And you don't want to do that without knowing what those consequences are going to be. All right. Now, once again, at the end of number 5, we spoke about removing accounts that would change those other numbers in your favor. So if you have, let's just say, My Jewelers, you opened it in 2019. The rest of your accounts are from 2014, 15, whatever. That is going to be better for you than to leave it on there, especially if this is something that you are basically being advised to do so by someone that actually knows what they're talking about. If you don't know how to do any of this or understand how this works, but that can work in your favor, specifically if it is closed, because it's not really working for you by being closed and being from 2019. Okay. So don't remove it just because it's closed. Don't close it just because it's unused. Don't remove it just because it's negative. Don't remove it just because it's a bankruptcy. And don't believe that your score is just going to go up because you're paying something off. And don't remove it just because it is not positive. You see how that worked? That worked very, very nicely, right? So I hope this all really, really makes sense, because this lays your foundation and prepares you basically so that you can increase your credit score, right? That is the entire purpose of everything that we do, because proper preparation prevents poor performance. All right. So the next video is going to go into more concrete steps to protect and increase your scores. But that is the end of this video. As I mentioned, there's a ton of awesome stuff in the description. Go and click on there. Like I said, hit the like while you're there if you found value in this video, and share it with someone that you know, especially right now in this great time of need that we're experiencing just globally, basically. I don't have to explain why, but anywho, you can find a bunch of awesome stuff there, like I said, and most of it is free. So why wouldn't you? All right, I'm going to see you on the next video. Have a wonderful new year. Merry Christmas if you celebrated. Happy holidays if you did not. And I will see you later. Have a wonderful, prosperous, fantastic week.